Have you ever heard this? If you have, listen.
Yeah, well, we're headphones.
I figured if you want to hear your, like, you know, you're a musician, dude. You like to like hear your levels, you know, or at least like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Have you guys seen The Studio?
Your studio?
No, The Studio, the TV show with Seth Rogen.
No.
No. Wait, is that recent?
Yeah,
Dude.
it's I don't think maybe the first season is over.
Okay.
It's on Apple TV, and there's like so much similarity between like what it's like on a movie set and what it's like, you know, in live music, you know, like, and as a, you know, self-defined hilarious Jewish man, I identify closely with Seth Rogen's character,
Dude.
and like it's just funny how he's got this he's got like the job of his dreams, but he's like so like. And he's a fan, right, at the end of the day. But, like, it gets in the way of him, you know, being the boss, you know? Every time he talks to a director, you're like, get out of the way.
What's his role in the movie? Is he like an actor, a producer?
He's the head of he gets, like, promoted in the first episode to the head of the studio.
And it's called The Studio?
The show's called The Studio. I think it's, what's the name of the record?
By the
it's
way,
like,
if you could...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, sorry. I'm like...
I want the people to hear you.
And this, like, is this recent? Like just this year came out? First season?
Yeah, earlier this year. And I think, I can't remember the name of the record, like the record label, the studio. It's like a old heritage studio that, like, you know, has, and it's like kind of just like it's so accurate. People, I think, in Hollywood were like kind of like disturbed by how accurate it is about like what things are really like behind the scenes.
Yeah.
But you know, he gets the job of his dreams, and you know, like the reason I thought of it was like the first thing his like the suits, like the people who he reports to, just like ask him to do. They're like, well, Barbie was a blockbuster hit and made billions of dollars. We need to take like an old, like, you know, kind of like brand and do the same thing. So we've acquired the rights to the Kool-Aid Man, and we're going to do the Kool-Aid movie.
Oh, yeah.
And I think they cast, who they cast as the Kool-Aid Man? I think it's Ice Cube is the Kool-Aid Man.
Dude. I just think of Family Guy. Is it Family Guy?
Oh, no. Yeah. The running guy.
He's like backs out. Dude,
he would be a really good cast for like an actual Kool-Aid Man movie, though.
There was a whole like uncomfortable segment where Seth Rogen has to be like, "Hey, it's been brought to my attention that maybe it's insulting for you as a black man to be Kool-Aid Man, and I just wanted to like check in with you." And he got so quiet. He's like, "I'm the fucking Kool-Aid Man. Don't take that away." It was really
Don't
fun.
take this away from me, man.
Yeah, but the whole episode is them freaking out about, you know, diversity and like whether or not the cast has enough, you know, diversity, and instead of making the right choices, they're just like,
yeah.
And then it turns out they're like, man, we're overthinking
Yeah.
this.
So it's very much like holding the mirror up to the
Yeah.
Well,
movie
and now,
industry.
isn't the Academy now like you have, like there's literal quotas you have to meet in your film to even be considered for, or to be able to be considered
I don't know
for nomination?
you know, I'm not an expert,
Yeah.
but like makes like, you know, it's like such an endemic problem. Like that sort of stuff is like sometimes the only solution, you know?
Right.
But it cuts both ways.
But exactly, because it's like where the creativity, where the freedom of the art, whatever it is you're trying to make, because there might be a certain thing you're doing. It's like, I can't. This is what it is. You know, if you're making a movie about, any given topic, you know, just whatever. It's like you might have a lot of one certain demographic in that film.
Hopefully,
you know what I mean?
hopefully you wouldn't.
Would make sense.
Hopefully you wouldn't blackface it. You know, like
Right.
or
Al Jolson.
right. What was that? There was something about a Marvel character that was that was like supposed to be an Asian person, and they cast a white person for. I can't remember. Like,
Oh,
you know what I'm
yeah.
talking about? It was the Doctor.
And it was a
Strange one.
controversy?
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking too about the Scarlett Johansson one.
Oh, yeah.
Ghost, was it?
Right.
Yeah. That was before the whole like affirmative action thing. But I think going back to that point, it's just like
Tilda.
finding.
She's great. I
Yeah.
think she's amazing.
Oh, Tilda.
She was great in it.
She's in The Curious
And
Case
also,
of
like,
Benjamin
as a-
Button.
That's
As
because
an
they wouldn't
actor-
show it in. They wouldn't show it in China if they had the person that it was supposed to be. Yeah.
Okay. That does happen a lot where it's not necessarily for American audiences, but for international audiences.
I always think back to Tropic Thunder.
Dude,
of course.
What do you mean, you people?
you more shredded than a julienne salad, man. Dude. By the way,
Such a great
special
movie.
episode today. It's Only Jams. This is the Only Jams episode.
Yeah.
Dude. We haven't actually. We're actually hot now. But Stephen Sternschein, with us today. Thanks for coming on, man. I appreciate you, bro.
Howdy doody.
How's life, man, been for you, bro? With the venue life, the venue owner life, dude. You're like, busy. You've been very busy.
Thanks for asking.
Yeah,
All things
I know.
considered.
Actually,
Things could be better. I'm glad they're not.
Yeah,
worse.
right.
I don't know if that's the lyrics, but those are my lyrics.
yeah, dude.
It's a hard summer. It's like the summer is always the slowest time for us. So it's like,
So spring and fall would be your hit seasons.
yeah,
Yeah.
when everybody's here.
Yeah, I guess that's true because the kids are out from UT, which is like a significant amount of people, but also just the energy that campus provides everything in the city because it's like it's the center in a lot of ways. This
It's
University
also,
of Texas.
it's festival season for places that aren't Austin, that aren't as hot as us. So like, it's also a lot harder to route stuff during that time.
Just the audiences are just not here right now. They're
Audience is not here, and the bands are playing elsewhere. So
hard time to be a venue owner. Yeah.
it's 13 summers in. I think we figured it out mostly.
Dude, I vote for bringing back an open jam at a venue, one of the venues. That was fun for a little bit.
That's like my unicorn. Figuring
Bro.
that shit out.
What, though, it's a unicorn with what you said?
Like to figure out how to do the open jam, and the issue for us is like, I go to the gallery all the time for the homies. One of my favorite
Thursdays.
things to do. And it really just comes down to like the size of the room. Like we have rooms that are just like slightly too big for that kind of hang. You know?
Yeah.
So it's like it's like when 50 people at the gallery is like energy. Because we're close in, the music's right there.
For sure.
But like at a place like Parish, that's like you can go bowling.
Dude.
As my friends from New York used to say when we do shows
Dude.
at SOBs.
Yeah. Dude, that's why I was like talking about like how much I love basements, dude. Like the environment is huge in terms of like we used to do shows at River Center and we would like they had the front room, which wasn't as nice, and the stage isn't as nice. It's just not the main stage. But then if you're like, we had like 10 people at the show, which was the minimum we literally could have to do a show. It's like, do it in the front, bro. Because if you do it in the big room, you have a handful of people in a big room. It feels different than a handful of people in a relatively small room.
Or
for
like,
sure.
the best vibe is just everybody hanging out in the control room, which is like, that's the best, the thing that we get to do that's not like no access, always. That's always the best.
Yeah.
So it's like, how do you bring some of that, like it's always like kind of finding the balance between, same as always, like creative vision, sustainable. How do we put it together?
Dude.
The music problem.
Yeah. I love, dude, that you're a musician though. And that's like how we met, bro. Cause we met random night, dude. I was like at gallery.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And Vanessa Barbie was there and I knew Vanessa. And shout out. And so I was like channeling my inner Matthew McConaughey. So I was like, I think we should all go to the moon tower. And I just kept saying that to everybody. And like, there was a full moon. And then Vanessa's like, hey, I'm like, I'll tell you where we'll like go. I'll give you the address. I'm like, all right. And then I show up his place. And there's like, I hear a jam going on. I'm like, and I'm like, hey, I'm a drummer. I'm like, hey, what's up? They're like, what's up? Like, who are you? I'm like, I'm a drummer. They're like, oh, cool.
Great.
And then it turned out I actually can play. Like, I'm decent. So, and then, yeah, bro.
Oh, yeah.
But like, we bonded on music, but then I'm like, oh damn, you do all these things, you know, because you're involved in advocacy a lot too, right? I mean, are you still pretty active there?
I mean, I think like if I were to say like what am I? I'm like an artist advocate in whatever way makes the most sense, you know? So like the venue is an act of advocacy, you know? So is, you know, so is like starting nonprofits like the Red River Cultural District and National Independent Venue Association. Sorry, I should have turned that off. Oh, it's Mr. Lou. We won't put him
Shout out.
on this. We won't put him on the
No,
spot.
yeah.
But I will turn off.
Lou has the best birthday of all time.
What's his?
4/20/69.
Oh.
This is the best
Yeah.
fucking birthday of all time,
Not
dude.
bad, Lou.
That's a
Not
top
bad.
10 for sure.
Fucking great, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I love that point though. Like the act of having a venue or is an act of advocacy, I guess.
Yeah, our job is to like provide a stage and a and like an amplification, literally, like so people can say their piece.
I do
Yeah.
find it interesting too. You consider yourself an artist advocate, and also and not necessarily like an artist businessman advocate, because I would assume the role of venue manager or venue owner would entitle you to some of those roles, but it's not putting it in the forefront of your intention, I guess.
I mean, like also I guess it's a choice, right? Is like when you're like a small business, like you get to make the choice, right? Of like, hey, you don't have a bunch of shareholders that are demanding maximum return on value. So you can choose and say, look, our mission is to be sustainable, but also to be impactful for the community, and both boxes need to be checked, which makes it harder, but that's the right way to do it.
I think that is important too for longevity, because I feel like a community and audience more specifically will notice that and sort of support you through that. And you'll see those sort of recurring characters, those regulars, and you've been doing it a while now.
Yeah. No, I mean, and then it's kind of sometimes easy to like forget how, like, it's like every time we throw a show, it's like throwing a stone in a pond, and then there's these ripples. And if you're the stone, you don't see the ripples, So every once in a while, it's important to like take a step back and be like, holy shit. The number of babies that were created at Empire, the number of marriages and, life altering. I mean, that's like, and really like, again, like, it's not me doing that. It's me enabling artists to do that with their audience. That's the whole point, It's all in service.
Yeah.
And if it's not, I mean, I think there are two kinds of folks in the music business, or really in any. It's like either glory and fame, or like you have no choice because like this is what you love,
Mm-hmm.
And the hardest thing to do is figure out, sometimes for yourself, but also like the people around you, like what side they're on,
And a lot of times too, you don't figure that out until you're a couple years in.
No, not until there's like a test.
Yeah, it's like
Pandemic was a test for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
How much do you love this stuff?
So how long has Empire been open?
13, almost 14 years.
14 years.
Yeah.
So out of all that time, I would imagine the pandemic was the most like struggle bus moment.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
And the reverberations of that, I'm sure, lasted for a little
yeah,
while.
ongoing.
I remember, dude, one of the first times I went back out, like when the Creek opened, I remember popping over because I went to Empire that night as well. I remember it was, I forget his name. Maybe? Zach Pearson?
Pearson.
Zach Pearson. He was good.
Yes.
Yeah, dude. Being like an owner, but again, like for me, bro, it's like you're a musician too. So there's a relationship I think you have with your artists that you work with, that you have in your venues. It's like you're coming from a different perspective than a typical owner, signing checks. Like there's passion with you in it. I guess you don't have to have that to be successful, but I feel like it definitely helps you. Like, right? I mean,
double-edged sword.
yeah.
Like it can. Well, look, like it can be. It is helpful. Like like I choose to like look on the optimistic side and say like, I wouldn't have it any other way. But like sometimes it's hard to like the decisions that I could make as like a business guy are not the right decisions for artist Steve or the community. So I have to like, choose sometimes.
You have to make that the moral dilemmas.
Are there times where you do have to go the like, this isn't necessarily like the creative or artistic way, but it's the way that this venue is going to stay alive?
Shrek Rave.
Shrek Rave?
You guys know
Rave?
about Shrek Rave?
No. What is Shrek? I'm
familiar with the festival.
I think
that
I can do
occurs
the
for Shrek.
Well, Shrek Rave has many layers, like an onion.
Josh be on it. Shrek Rave.
And this is like like a way into a type of thing that has happened since pandemic that's changed, right? Is like there are, and this was like our first experience with it, right? Is like, there are, the shows that I get really excited about that are, for the community of artists here, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is not that at all, right? This is like a DJ and some branding and telling everybody to show up wearing Shrek costumes.
It's just a lot of All-Star, a lot of Smash Mouth.
Honestly, like I couldn't tell you what kind of music they were playing during this thing because it's just like the issue to me is like, okay, well, but guess what? These guys can sell tickets.
Yeah.
Like more tickets than any local band could sell for their art. Pressing DJ button play and like theme Shrek, like that gets people to spend, $25, $30, $40.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck.
Dude. And then
It pulls an audience.
and then there's these dope bands you're like, they feel like you should be getting more.
Yeah,
They
and
should
the
be
thing
getting
is,
more.
it's like, okay, it's Friday night.
Yeah.
We could have a dope band, or we can make money. And that's the challenge. Is like,
Yeah.
but like,
it's so sad.
well, look, but the way to think about it is like sometimes
true.
there are things that we have to do to protect
Right.
the music.
Yeah.
And so when I have a Shrek rave, that means I can have
Yeah.
a real show. And P.S. Maybe some of the people who went to Shrek rave would really like to hear a new band and check out some new music.
Yeah. It gets people in the door and familiar with you in
Yeah.
a way that probably wouldn't have come in
Exactly.
otherwise.
And especially in this time, like post-pandemic, things have changed a lot. People don't go out as much. They don't feel the same kind of like pull. There was a big like, kind of dam bursting, but that went away after like a year. So like one thing that we've noticed is like when we sell out a show, there's used to be like 1 in 10 people no showed. Now it's like 1 in 3 people don't show up for some shows, which is like ultimately that hurts the venue the most because we rely on sales on site.
You got to have people coming in the door to make a show happen.
Right, and if we don't know that 30% of the people who bought tickets are just not going to show up, we don't know that we can replace those people with actual people.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. Another thing is that, especially Gen Z, but also a lot of the elder millennials and millennials are choosing, and I support this, right, to like not drink, So like, it used to be like, now it's like maybe like 50-50, 60-40, like drinkers, non-drinkers. And like,
Really?
that's great, except that we're not a movie theater and we haven't quite figured out how to sell popcorn for $10 at a music event. People aren't expecting that. It's like it's going to take time to retrain folks,
Yeah, booze definitely.
Well, have you
does
thought about
a
expanding
lot.
your NA repertoire a little bit? Like,
Hell yeah.
because that, I feel like that could help. Because like a lot of people might show up and be like, oh, let me get an athletic.
That's
and
like-
you can charge like relatively about the same amount.
We've been doing a lot of experimentation with that. We've
Yeah.
also been working with like
Because that's that market, the NA, specifically the NA beer market. Like I remember it used to be just like fucking O'Doul's and then like, that's it.
Yeah, no, now there's like a lot of options and
Oh,
they're great
tons.
actually.
Yeah.
Also,
No,
the
they're-
quality has greatly improved.
Yeah. No, like I'll taste some of those IPAs for athletic, and I'm like double check. I'm like, this fucking sure. That's like, they're
Hot
for sure.
water is great, although it gives you hot mouth.
Yeah.
Which is why you should buy a $10 water. I'm just kidding. I don't want like that's the thing. The challenge again. Okay, so people are drinking less. less people are like, more people are like kind of choosing to stay at home. There's more competition. So like the simplest thing is let's raise prices. But like at a certain point, it's not accessible anymore. So we can't do that, And one of the things that like, not to like one of the kind of like the last piece of it is like price and cost increases, like everybody and like, we made a big effort to make sure that when we came back online, like the first like kind of order of business was like, this needs to be sustainable for the people who are doing the work, not just like not hanging on for dear life.
Mm-hmm.
So, the pay has increased dramatically, but so have like travel costs for bands and the cost of equipment and like who knows what the heck is going on with tariff time and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. So, we're kind of getting hit on all sides. And the outcome for me, like recently, I had to make a really difficult decision to like move the parish from where it's at now.
Yeah, you were saying that.
And it's just like it's not because it's a beautiful space. The land, like our Richard is an awesome dude, but we just can't afford the rent and also be accessible to the whole community. And I don't want to have to like the idea of the parish or any of the spots that we have is not to be like like a hang that only is accessible to people who have $100 in their pocket. It's got to be for the people or it's not. We're not doing it right, I think.
Yeah.
So tough call, but the other side of it is like, okay, now we have an opportunity to like find a home that's the right size, and every time we do it, I learn a little bit more about what the optimal setup is and all those things. So it's like it keeps getting better and better every time we do it.
Yeah.
Did you have to face a lot of that during the pandemic?
I mean, like the parish had to move immediately after the pandemic because our last landlord, there's like you could look up the lawsuit. It's pretty crazy, and that's like, but a lot of people were in that situation where like they couldn't pay rent for years, and then finally it's time to reopen, and everybody starts fighting and can't figure out how to get back, how to like split up the benefit and get back to business. I think
profitability.
Right.
Yeah.
So like we've opened the parish 4 times in the past 5 years
In different locations.
Yeah.
Damn.
Old spot,
Man.
new spot gets caught on fire. Reopen. You know what I mean? It's been crazy.
Well, in the real estate market here too, with the craziness of that, it's like, right, rents just keep going up. Like where we're at currently is going to be kaput. Which, by the way, fun fact, he had an office here, like upstairs.
Oh. Yeah. In the entrance, like on Brazos, we were, I think.
Oh, the
right
big
before,
one, the one with the hot tub.
The one like right where all the bums. hang
Yeah,
out.
that's the big one on the side. So right when you go into the entrance, you make a right.
left and right.
Yeah, left and right.
Both rooms.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
There's some especially crazy mums from that location now.
Yeah,
For sure.
I think that was before pandemic for sure.
Yeah, and then you had the studio too, which that closed as well, or
Still the
is
studio.
Resound.
No, Resound was officing next to the studio.
Okay, so the studio is a separate entity. Okay,
Yeah,
so the studio's there.
machine's there.
Resound is not there.
I don't think they have an office anymore.
No. Okay. Yeah, that's. How often are you in the studio? Like in
Like
there?
recording?
Well, yeah, or just there.
Not as often as I like.
Yeah, dude.
Not much these days.
Yeah.
I'm busy protecting the music. But I'll get to it.
Do you find that a lot of artists that come and play on your stages also find to want to use your studio?
I want to use your fucking jam room, bro.
Sort of guide
So-
you in there.
Quick story.
Dope jam room.
I like one of my favorite musicians, Robert Glasper, came through. I don't know, maybe it was less than a year ago, I think. And we're hanging out backstage, like just talking. I was like, "Hey man, you want to come to the studio and fucking jam?" He's like, "What do you think I'm doing right now?" "I'm going to sleep after this." And I was like, "Oh yeah, I guess that makes sense, So the answer is, well, it sounds great. Mostly the folks who are touring, like want to rest.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, I'll get a like a Deitch or somebody that like, has the same level of jam commitment that I do, and then it's fun.
Dude, jam commitment, bro.
Yeah.
The fun word I think I said to you I texted you the other day, PolyJAMorous.
PolyJAMorous.
That's a good one. Put that one in the dictionary. Bro, yeah. But like also, dude, there's a ton of killers just here locally that reside here when they're not, on the road. And it's like, that's cool too, because you could have buddies that are, hey, yo, come roll
Austin
through.
is very much like home base for a lot of folks.
It makes sense too, because like, look, I'm from, New York, New Jersey originally. The big difference up there is like, nobody has backyards or garages, I mean, I suppose there are garages in Jersey and there's, but like New York City, like if you're a musician, you have to book a rehearsal room every time you want to jam. And that makes it a lot harder for there to be a community.
Lousy neighbors, man. If neighbors just fucking bought a pair of noise canceling headphones.
Well, and dude, you exposed me to the Austin jam community, the jam scene. Because I honestly wasn't, I mean, I'd been to a jam here and there and stuff, but it was like when I went to that and then through the series of like those jams that we had for, from that whatever period, we were, 2023, I guess. Dude, it was
22.
like, 2022?
22.
Damn, bro, where did the time go? So, but like, I was like, oh my gosh, dude, like this whole opened me up to this whole thing. And I'm like, this is where it's at, bro. Cause the jam is, I feel like the songwriting process to me, like if you're going to write a song with a group of guys, like getting together, like, and just doing whatever, and then go back and like you sent me that, I'll play. I sent it to Josh to play, not this moment, but dude, but like finding stuff, and then you, not always, but you like sometimes you'll have those moments where you go back and you're like, you've done it where you're playing, you're like, bro, we did this the other night. I'm like, what? Like I don't even remember. It was like because you get in that space of like you're kind of there, but you're not there. Yeah, you're kind of just trying to.
It's the zone.
Be
it's like a meditation.
Antenna.
Yeah.
It exists.
Receiver
Any like
and transmitter.
Anything that you do that's skillful, has the potential to take you into flow state. Whether it's like any kind of art. I mean, even just like sawing wood or hammering is like. And I think that's like if we talk about mental health, I think having the ability or thing that you can do that with, dude. For some people, it's fishing.
Yeah.
There's this particular kind of person, where music is the outlet, and those are the people that's the best filter I've found for like who I want to spend my time with.
Yeah.
And I love to start conversations musically. They're a lot easier to start that way for me.
And exploring the space is so much fun too. Once you're in that flow state, like you can take it like a completely different direction. It all depends on what everybody is thrown into the pot. So it can change every time. And it depends
and that's
on who's
the thing.
there.
Every jam experience is its own unique combining amalgamation of different whoever is there in that jam at that time. And it creates whatever that is. And chemistry is a thing too with different people because you play with some people and it's like, oh, there's chemistry here. Other people you play with, you're like, I don't know, it feels clunky, but it's like that is a thing I feel like too, for sure.
There are times where it definitely feels like you're stuck in the moment of it all, where it's just so locked in and it's like, I feel like I'm capturing something just being here.
That's the goal. I think like I love instead of it being like for an audience, like self-aware, it's really play, for the people who are participating. I think that's a really important part of being, musical is like having the ability to do it just for you, just for your own shits and giggles, so to speak.
When the performer and the audience are the same person,
yes.
It's like, it becomes very pure too, because there's no feeling of like, I got to nail this part or I got to show off. It's just very much for yourself.
Yeah.
Like there is,
and the other people.
There's like one of the things that I've gotten to do, and I've talked to you about this, is this thing called Roots Rock Revival, which is it's basically like jam camp, or like another way I describe it is like it's like going to Jazz Fest without an audience, except it's just the musicians that would rock together at Jazz Fest. And it's like, it was founded by Butch Trucks from the Allman Brothers, the drummer from the Allman Brothers, and OTL Burbridge, the bassist from Allman Brothers and Dead & Co. now, and Aquarium Rescue Unit before that, and Luther Dickinson.
Is that
from
the camp
North
one?
Miss.
The one where they camp?
Yeah, it's near Woodstock in the woods. Shockingly enough, like 30 minutes from the nearest place to buy a lighter or a pack of cigarettes, which is a pain in the ass.
Stock it up.
Cell phones barely work, so it's like a great place to just like to do music with no distraction. The goal of the experience, which is a week, is to transfer the knowledge of how to like kind of the roots rock kind of way, which is like improvisational, blues based like jams, right? Like, and doing it in a way where you commute, like, you know, that it's, you know, that has been kind of refined over the past, you know, however long in the tradition of Allman Brothers and Grateful Dead, right? Like the masters. So like the first lesson is when, as a player, like listen, don't speak. Sometimes it's better to say nothing and wait. You know, like whatever serves the music, whatever serves the jam is the right thing to do. So like, you know, that's kind of like it's like an ego death. It's like an act of humility before you can participate. You know,
It's like with a chef, you learn to taste before you learn to cook.
Mm-hmm.
It's listening and taking that intake and learning what to do with it.
yeah, and then you can layer onto that like, okay, there are these kind of like ways that we can communicate like in real time, but and like, you know, certain tropes that you can like kind of like shortcuts, but ultimately like it's just that. It's just like, you know, putting the groove first and, you know, getting in where you fit in, you know? And it doesn't matter how great or terrible you are. If you do that as best you can, you're going to have a great time.
AKA stay in your lane, bitch.
Well, if you can. There was this one time at band camp. We were playing Superstition. You know Superstition?
There is superstition. Yeah.
Which is a line that I love.
Great song.
But, you know, like, spoiler alert,
Twangy.
it's not the bass part. It's the key part. So I was playing in a jam with Nikki Glaspie,
Oh, bro, Nikki Glaspie, dude.
who I love. Shout out.
She's fucking, dude.
Legendary drummer.
Beyonce, fucking, dude. Yeah, I was jamming with Beyonce's drummer. It's whatever.
Pete Levin from the Allman Brothers, the keyboard player. And there were a bunch of other ridiculous people.
Yeah. Are you ever in those moments where you're like, is this real?
Well,
When you're around those types of
this
dope-ass-
is the moment that, you know, Pete leaned over to me and said really nice. He's like, "Hey, you sound great, dude. Can you just play the one?" And like I looked to my left and Nikki's been glaring at me. You know, like I was like so excited to play this riff I love.
Oh, man, you
I
got
totally
carried away.
stepped over.
You got carried away.
I stepped on toes.
Yeah, but hey, I mean, I'm sure it seems like he was cool about it. It was like,
Well, I mean, it wasn't like we were in front of 1,000 people. We were just
Yeah.
in a room hanging out, having
but
fun.
you were, yeah.
I learned an important lesson.
You were a kid in the candy store for a minute, dude, is what you were.
Oh yeah, that's dope.
That's dope, dude. It's cool. I was gonna say because I had some awesome moments at your place and the jams, but like the coolness of also jamming with somebody of like a really dope person and like that's been doing cool shit, and I didn't even know it because I went over there one night and we were with, it was Erykah Badu's like RC, and then Homeboy, right? And I didn't know him, so I like we were all jamming, yeah. And
That
I'm
was a
like,
fun one. I think I played keys on that.
yeah. And then everybody left to like take a break except for him and I, for Eric and I. And I still remember it. It was like, I'm gonna need a little help. I just can't do this by myself. And I started singing that over and over, and he started singing along with me. And I was like, it's dope, whatever. And then like a couple days later, I ran into who was it? I don't remember who it was. But she's like, you know who that was? I was like, She's like, Eric from Black Pumas. I'm like, bro, I didn't even do the connect the dots. But it was fun because I'm actually happy. I felt it. Like he has that kind of thing because he's got charisma. But it's like, it's fun because it's like to have those moments and be around big time people, especially like it's like, dude, to not even. But also when you actually do know. In your case,
here's the thing, like the funny thing about that is like, you know, O'Teal talks about magic, right? And the point is like, he's like, everybody has the capability of doing magic. Magic to him is like, you know, improving or affecting somebody at zero cost to yourself, you know? And that's the power. Like when you're in a situation with like somebody who's a way better musician or player, whatever you think, like there's still an exchange. It's still like it's still joy to like like the most important thing I think for like folks who have like got the attention and made it is like, you can't hold, it's like standing in the sun or staring. You can't hold on to that shit for too long. You have to pass it out. Otherwise, you know, everything goes wrong and you end up, you know, on heroin or whatever, you know? Like, that's really it. And so the ethos of the jam community is like, it's all about that community kind of like transfer of knowledge. And the way to do it is through playing together, you know? So, man, I think like, and you know, it's like important when we get together and do these kind of things. It's a transfer both ways. It's not just like, oh, you're getting to have a moment with somebody who's, you know, like a world famous musician or like really talented. It's like you're two musicians are getting to exchange and grow together, you know? Because every time you teach something, you learn it again and again, you know?
Yeah. And I think you do a great job too, bro, of creating a vibe, at least in your jam studio, of, hey, you know, don't be afraid to do whatever. Like, because to me, it's like, you know, sometimes if you're like singing something or making something, whatever it is, you know, you might be afraid. It's like, hey, just have fun with it, do whatever. And it's like creating that environment. And I mean, you know, contextually, obviously, but like it creates a space where I feel like you can like be more free to just kind of like feel whatever it is happening with that group in that moment. Yeah,
really participate.
Exactly.
It's like you know the comedy equivalent of yes and really.
Yeah.
Like if you really want to talk about like, you know, a space like Roots Rock with all these incredible musicians, the one word you'll never hear is no from any of those folks during that time, because like that's how you're like in a safe creative space, you know? Like, and PS, like, you know, we can choose to do that anytime we want, you know?
Yeah.
If you know, and it really is just like, it's just a perspective of like, I could say no, but what if I just say yes, and then I can achieve whatever I was trying to achieve by saying no, like in a different way, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
I.e. like, just play the one instead of like, hey, shut up, you know?
Yeah.
Dude.
You're doing it wrong.
It's like, hey, you're good, but also,
Yeah. It's that simple, and it doesn't cost anything to do that, and that's how we grow together. You know?
Yeah. And it's like, music is that language, you know, when you get together with people, because it's like, you know, the first night we met, you know, we didn't know each other, whatever, but we know the language. And so we get together and we create something. And that's the beautiful thing about it. It's like every time you're like this, that's why it's good that you record, you do record like a lot of jams, because I feel like it's not that you will definitely get something out of it, but you might. Like, dude, I've had moments, dude.
Oh, man.
Quinn, bro.
Quinn. I have some really good stuff from Pandemic at the old Parish.
Nice, dude. But you just go back and you're like, listen to some of that stuff. You're like, oh, damn, that was pretty good, actually. That was good. Not bad.
it's also really good for improvement because, you know, in the moment you could be really vibing in it, but then if you listen back, you're like, no, like this wasn't really it.
Yeah. Well, in like writing too, like I had a girl I dated back in the day, and she said she was a journalism major. She said something, I loved it. The magic happens in revision, applying to writing, but I think it applies to writing music too. Like if you do something, I think the magic can happen in going back and hearing something and be like, oh, maybe there's an idea there. I mean, like how often, I was going to ask you in the studio itself, how often are you in a jam like environment in that space? Like, do you go in and do that like in the studio?
Almost exclusively. I like,
that's
you
it?
know, like I sometimes we'll do like, and look, P.S., one of the things that as a creative person that's on that I need to learn to do is like write songs.
Well,
know, like-
you do in the sense that you with those, but if like you have to go back and I mean, because there's a structure, you could put something together.
Well,
you know,
there's two parts to every tune. The Colonel Bruce Hampton would say, and one part is he calls it, you know, basically like face and ass, right? Face is structure, ass is groove. You know, I'm all ass, baby. Yeah,
Dude.
which like, you know, but that's a challenge for me, and I think. The way that the jams work with us is like there are tunes and progressions that come back over and over and over again. And the thing that I love the most, maybe only me, is to like listen to 8 versions of the same thing with slightly different lineups and like be like, oh, I like this part. I like this part from that one, you know, like, and just to like the breath, you know, with 12 fucking notes.
yeah,
Who like there's so many, there's like infinite possibilities.
yeah.
It's so interesting.
Yeah, and I'm a proponent too that if it's a good idea, like in terms of jamming, you're not necessarily writing anything specifically, but if I think of a good ideas come back,
Yeah.
you know, like they
It takes a
they
lot
repeat.
longer to write that way, I bet. You know, like there's the James Brown approach. That's easier if you're trying to make a buck, you know?
Which also though that it's like, hey, we know the formula and it fucking works.
Yeah.
It fucking works, bro.
I forget
Fucking
who,
love James Brown.
I forget who said it, but it was I think it was some guitar player that when they're writing riffs, they don't write or record anything until the next day because they know that if it's
What sticks,
good,
yeah.
it's going to stick with them overnight. It's not going to leave their head.
Yeah.
I was just talking like I was you know Pearl Z?
Pearl Z?
Dude, she's awesome.
Oh man, probably maybe.
She's she plays guitar, sings, plays bass. She's, you know, like multifaceted, and we were rocking on like this riff, and it was literally like that. It was like I hit her up the next day. I was like, "Do you remember that riff?" And she's like, "Oh fuck, I don't know if I got it." And she like sent me like a 30-second clip that wasn't the riff, but as soon as I heard it, I was like, "Oh, I got it." And she was like, "Fuck yeah," you know, because it's like.
It's
That's the
lingering.
it's lingering.
Well, and that's the great thing too about a jam. I feel like it'll bring out, like I love playing with certain people. And then we'll have like certain groups of guys, and like you know, it's like, oh man, dude, he just laid it down, and it like gets me vibrating, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm gonna do this little lick, this like I'm gonna mix it up, do some shit, and you know, like, creating that dynamic where everybody, and then
Push.
yeah, exactly. That's funny, dude. Push, fucking. We had Carlos Sosa groove line horns.
You know who?
And he said push
The
was
other
his-
way is like, you know, I think one of the first times that the Beaux-Arts came over to a jam at my place from Heartburn and Purple Bee and Jagtronica. Like, I think I was playing something and I was like, oh, what's up, dude? And I like stopped playing. He's like, dude, don't ever stop. You know, like that's the number one rule of
Yeah.
the jam is like, even if you think you made a mistake or you got completely lost, don't ever stop. And eventually you'll find your way home.
Bob Ross that
With
shit.
the help
on
of your
through,
friends,
yeah.
you know? Yeah, dude. You know, like, you know, have fun. Paint trees, whatever it takes, you know?
I mean, yeah, it's definitely like I will say too. What are your thoughts on the substance as a methodology of writing versus like when you come up with stuff, or like because there's that age old argument of like creativity, where does it come from, and like a lot of people think the substance abuse or the substances can stimulate the creativity versus it's stimulating something that was already there, right? I mean, ultimately, I don't know.
Okay, there's a couple of ways to talk through that. One of my favorite bass players of all time, Charles Mingus. You know who he is?
Going Mingus. Yeah.
Yeah,
He's a thing.
that name is so memorable, dude. Mingus. Yeah,
Haitian fight song is like something that's like one of the OG. The first time that like horns, I think, were used the way that like hip hop was going to sample them down the road, you know. But he famously was like, you know, he was a horrible alcoholic, but he would never touch like anything else because he was like, you know, even like you couldn't convince me that altering my state of mind is going to make me a better player.
yeah.
You know.
Plus, especially as a jazz musician, I mean, you know, smack is very much prevalent in that community. So
Right.
it's like,
No,
stay
I mean-
away. I'll stick to the booze sort of thing.
I think it's a short. It's there like it's not a like when the idea that it's a creative enhancer, like, you know, is kind of most of the time it's an excuse. What it does is like, you know, smoking a joint with a bunch of people who are like not great people person, and you know, when I play, it's like it's a shortcut to like being comfortable, you know?
Yeah.
That's what I think. And you know, if you look at the kind of like the outcome of the electric Kool-Aid acid test, I think, you know, to me, like, you know, there is like a journey, a journey that in psychedelia and in like your connection to the earth and the things that come from the earth, that is like valid and worthwhile, but it doesn't really have much to do with like the writing process or the creative process. There's a great book that I love called The War of Art, which is I think it's by Stephen Pressman. It's a short book, and he talks about like, and he's a writer, but the you know, it's applicable to anybody who's creative. You know, like he talks about, he's like, we're all already experts at creating and making things. The challenge is like sitting down to do it, like consistently, you know? So the
Jerry Seinfeld, you got to write every day.
Yeah, no, for real. I mean, like, if you've never drawn a duck before and you want to draw a duck, what do? Well, you draw a line, and then if it doesn't look like a duck yet, you draw another line until you think it looks like a duck. You know?
Yeah.
Like, so that's the only route, you know?
Just to sit down and actually do it.
Yeah, make mistakes until you figure it out.
There's another book, I think it's called The Artist Way, that has a very similar point.
I love that book.
Great book.
Hell yeah.
Basically, it's saying, like, you know, you don't have to be, one of the things it says is you don't have to be a success, you know, millionaire or whatever to be a successful artist.
Yes.
You just have to say that you are, and you have to do it every day.
Yeah.
It's like, if you
Live
are
it.
doing it, that means you are one. It's like, you don't have to have a moniker of success to hold that statement up with.
I mean, that's true of, like, you know, it's like, how do you, like, we all let people around us like have way too much influence on our perception of self-worth, right?
Fear of criticism.
Yeah, fear of judgments, and
Nobody wants to rock the boat. When we're kids, we're taught to like not do that, which is sad, I think.
Unless
know,
you're
like,
an iconoclast. Dude. But yeah, you're right. Nobody wants to be that black sheep.
There's an anarchist group. I mean, well, I think that like that's a whole nother like thing of like the programming and education and like what it takes to like break out of it. And again, like, you know, the person that I think did the best job of that, like, I don't know a lot of people know who, like, even, you know, like outside of the jam community know about Colonel Bruce Hampton. You guys know about Colonel Bruce Hampton?
This is the second time you've mentioned him, so.
Yeah, so
I have no excuse. So
no. I mean, like, this is great. I'm excited to tell you. There's a documentary called Basically Frightened, which will give you all the things you need to know about the Colonel, but like, essentially, like, he was the Mr. Miyagi for every major jam group to come out of the, like, you know, since the Dead, basically, like, you know, from like, you know, really, he was really active in the late 70s, 80s, early 90s, and like, you know, kind of like
Like a Rick Rubin kind of guy?
he was he was like, I mean, he was more like a prophet / like alien, you know, like he was like the stories that they tell about the Colonel, like he would be insane. He would guess people's birthdays with never having met them, like, and was right most of the time, you know.
That's wild.
He had all these kind of like, he was like the way that like, you know, the way that, you know, I've heard it, he's basically like constantly in flow state, tapped in somehow, you know, to something.
Like constant walking meditation. Just all the time.
Yeah, but you know, the thing that he was, at least from my perspective, like incredible at was like, you know, taking really technically well-trained musicians and like teaching them to like get out of the box, you know, and just like,
I was
let
gonna
go of
say
all
that, dude, because you were talking about like the systems and stuff. That's like that happens within music when you have people like that can play a page and can like do some crazy stuff, but then you put them in a jam situation and they're like, I don't know what to do. Mm-hmm. What do I do?
That's a whole
It's like,
nother.
just fucking play,
it's
bro.
a whole different muscle,
Right?
And you know,
Improvisation versus scripted. It's, you know.
Yeah, and actually, like, just to, I love a good bookend, and anybody who watches the studio will understand that,
Nice.
and you guys will understand after you watch it. So the like Colonel Bruce's story continues on, of course, but his life ended at on stage at his, I think it was his 70th or 77th birthday, during the middle of a guitar solo by this kid that Butch Trucks had recently discovered, who was 11. His name's Taz Niederhauer, like Brandon Niederhauer. He's like, he has a band with Nicky now called, what is it? Why am I blanking? Oh my God. It's a Allman Brothers tribute. It's phenomenal. And I'm gonna get in so much trouble for fucking this up.
We'll go back
You
later
gotta
and
edit
post,
it.
and we'll go post and add it.
Yeah, just flashing right now.
We knew the name the whole time.
Trouble no more.
Trouble no more.
Trouble
See,
no more.
we knew that. Trouble no more.
But the thing is, so this when he was 11 and like the Colonel died on stage in front of him during his guitar solo, he spent the next 10 years going to Roots Rock, the camp, and like, you know, he's, you know, incredible, and like he's wise behind his years, you know, like, because he's gotten this incredible opportunity and access to like there are people who are like third generation musicians, right? Like they're just like part of it. Like think about the Nelson family, Willie Nelson, Lucas, like there's like kind of like a beautiful kind of like osmosis that happens.
It's like a lineage.
Yeah. And so like really that camp is like, hey, we want to, like, how do we give this lineage to more than just biological family? So, you know, Brendan, like, and his brothers, they're just tremendous musicians, and like, you know, it's all the magic of, you know, literally like the Colonel basically teaching this way to Butch and all the people who founded this camp. And, you know, like, I think it's such an interesting kind of like challenge to like, you know, kind of like first kind of learn and do the technical thing and then figure out how to break out of it. I didn't do it that way. I just kind of like never learned the right way. You know, like kind of, but never really, you know?
You find that though with a lot of musicians, like if you, a lot of the big success stories aren't necessarily like the traditional classically trained musicians.
Yeah, there's no like.
James Atkins can't read music. A lot of people, dude. That's fucking
Yo,
crazy,
he's gonna
right?
open that door in a second. And
Dude,
like,
I hope he does. I love James. Fucking animal. Dude, no, yeah.
he is an animal.
But there's a lot of, you're right. There's a lot of people that are like, they don't come up in that way.
I mean, Kurt Cobain's kind of like a really big example of that, where, I mean, he changed music entirely without really having a lot of technical.
Because guess what? We all know the language already innately. It's not necessary to like do that.
Mm-hmm.
It can be a helpful tool, but if you make it everything, you're missing out on all the good stuff. You know?
Yeah, and you don't have to be a technically great musician to be a great songwriter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like an intuition, and Victor Wooten has a really good quote.
Victor.
Beautiful.
Victor Wooten.
His book is great too. The Music Lesson, 1 and 2.
The reason to learn theory and technique is to learn the notes so you can be okay with playing the wrong ones.
Yes.
Yeah. It's the confidence. It's just, you know, being able to step up and.
I told you, Bob
okay.
Ross that shit.
You know, Victor is the reason I play bass.
Really?
Yeah. When I was like 13-ish, I think I was 13. I was definitely in middle school. I went to my first Dave Matthews Band concert.
Dude.
Yeah. That was the time when they were like, you know, Ants Marching, like, you know, Under the Table and Dreaming had just come out. And, yeah, it was like really exciting to get to go into New York City to Madison Square Garden and see a show for the first time. And we get there, and I probably took my first puff of weed as well.
It's a great night.
Appropriately at a Dave Matthews concert.
Yeah, and there's this band on stage with a banjo player just like picking along, which I'd never heard in my life. And then this guy with a yellow guitar that didn't sound like a guitar to me, you know? And I was mesmerized just watching him play. And he, at one point, like, threw his bass up in the air, did a fucking full 360, caught it in time and just like it was insane. And I was like, what is that? You know, and that's why I picked up the bass. I was like, at the time I was playing guitar and I was like, oh man, there's less strings and it sounds cooler. I'm sold.
Yeah, well, and dude,
there's absolutely no downside.
as a drummer, bro, I love a bass player that I can lock in with because that rhythm section, core, you know, a guitar will add some really nice flavor, but like we
Drum
don't need
and
your kind.
bass.
We got a
Yeah.
band here, by the way.
Yeah, for
We
reals.
do. A guitar player.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I was like, when
We
you're
got
like
a
guitar
jam.
player, but he couldn't make it that night. Otherwise, I would have been like, dude, I got my boy Kai, but he was tapped out.
Well, we'll do it. There's
No,
plenty of time.
yeah, that's gonna happen. We're official because I still need to jam with this guy. I haven't
Yeah,
jammed
we need
with
to
him.
lock in.
I haven't jammed with anybody in a minute, bro.
The jams are dry.
I'm sad.
There's a dry spell for jams.
Well, I
Jams
have
and jellies.
Jam Lemma Ding Dong. Okay, let's go.
Did I tell you my brother has a tattoo on his arm and it's a bottle of like what looks to be some sort of jelly or something with a skull and crossbones that says delicious jams. Dude, it's the dumbest shit, dude.
I had a band name idea that was Jams, and it stood for just a musical sensation.
Yeah,
You gotta get
like
I
that.
sell only jams, bro. I'm sorry, only
Only
jams.
Jams is
I remember we
classic.
randomly came. That was a thing that stuck in my fucking head.
The
That's
whole, I think
hilarious.
that was like a matching musician. What was it?
We
Was it
were at
matching
your
musician?
place at the pool, I think.
We were
just
trying to-
shooting shit, and
We're like, we need an app that lets musicians find each other. When
that's
they
what it
wanna jam.
was. Which that's not necessarily having to go to an open jam because ultimately, if you go to an open jam, then
No,
you
we were
could
talking
find
about like
people, but-
ratings and stuff, silly shit.
Yes,
Just,
that's right. Ratings.
like,
I love.
are you
dude,
on time for the jams?
Yeah.
and not in the drummer sense.
Dude, I love you're an industrious motherfucker. You're creative, but you're industrious. You're business minded, but you've also got your performance element, dude. That's what
The
makes you
logistic
like
component.
you've got roundedness to you. It
Yeah.
sounds like that conflict
Physically
of
and,
like
metaphorically.
dude. But it's like, yeah, that gives you like that's why I'm glad we got to have you in, man. Thanks again for coming in today, bro. Because like, yeah, just the perspective of you is not just the musician part; it's like the other side too. Which
Man, I'm glad this is like it's fun to talk about this stuff. You know,
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I've done a podcast as Business Steve. It's great to do it like as Steve's.
yes, dude, and it's like Steve is still business Steve because that's you, bro. Like that's one thing I noticed too about you, dude. You're constantly on the lookout for. Everyone you meet is somebody you could network with, somebody that could be a cool person, which is like, I think it's the right mindset to have. It's like, it's that openness to, hey,
Opportunity.
cool people might have different cool things to offer, and like perspectives, collaborations we could do with them, like something, so it's like, that's the mindset of, all right, yeah, build this.
Jamming does not only involve instruments. Sometimes like that like ultimately like any exchange, right? Like is a jam.
Yeah, and
most-
don't form jam cliques.
No. Jams should be open for
Don't
all.
be
They should
jam
be
exclusive.
PolyJAMorous.
So what?
Jam exclusive is
Don't be jam exclusive, dude. Nobody wants that, bro.
We're closed jam.
But that's the beauty of music, dude. It's like the cooperative thing. That's why I'm like,
Yo, if
I
you
love
wanna
hanging
get
around musicians
somewhere
more than
fast,
comedians because
you go
comedians are
yourself.
fucking assholes.
Oh yeah, well, it's kind of like it's the line of like, am I an asshole or am I just really funny? You know?
Well, if you can pull that off, then yeah, you're succeeding. But that's the trick that most guys. It's like, no, you're just
Shoot it right down the middle. there.
asshole.
Yeah. One more
Asshole,
maxim.
but he's funny. Yeah.
If you want to get somewhere fast, go yourself. If you want to get somewhere great, bring your friends. That's the music way.
Fucking amen, dude. Hey, by the way, my 40th is in like a few weeks.
Hell yeah.
So maybe we could plan a jam for that, dude. That'd be dope as fuck.
I mean, it's your birthday. You
Bro.
tell me.
I remember I was at your place on your 40th, dude. Yeah. fucking
I
crazy.
can't. I don't feel 40.
Dude, well, you're not. You're what, 42 now?
Yeah.
I was right.
I feel like 100 years old.
Dude.
You know.
Well, you've been, on your business and stuff, but you've been like, dude, we need to break the shell. We need to break the jam shell. Or at least I'm sure you've been jamming still, but like, I need to break
Not a
the jam
lot.
shell with you. Not too much.
No, I mean I've had to work really hard.
Yeah.
Which is like I'm happy to do it, and I'm also looking forward to more jams.
There's seasons, you've been in a season of
Turn
on
as
it,
they say.
and now it's like, yeah, you know what? It's time to change the page, turn the page, we'll bring this guy around.
The finals are over. We can get to the jams.
Bro, it's
nice.
summertime, dude.
Oh
I'm
man,
feeling froggy.
I just had a flash of like school's out for summer.
Oh,
Jam.
Dazed and Confused.
Yeah,
dude. The night I met you, I think we should all go to the Moon Tower, man. That's what I think.
Moon Tower.
Moon Tower.
Well, I think the real answer is, I'm gonna bring back the open jam at the clubs. I think I
Dude.
might also bring a grill out for it.
If you
'Cause
want,
I used to do that.
if
I
you
used
want me
grill
to help
and
run
chill.
or host or co-host or whatever, dude, let me know because I will. I'll do it.
Yeah, that
help.
would be great.
Yeah, because there's a vibe too. Like I think my uniqueness is in that I'm like I have the comedy side of things, but I'm also like a musician, so I can like there's two things which some people
we've
naturally
talked about
have
this.
that. Yeah, it's like good. Yeah,
I mean, I like the kind of like the SNL format, right? It's like
Yeah.
laugh, listen, laugh,
Mm-hmm.
listen, laugh, listen. I love that.
yeah, it's both. Yeah,
We can do it. What are you gonna do, Kai?
Dude, I'm gonna fucking play some nasty ass licks.
some
licks. I'm gonna
Shred-
shred.
Hi,
Shred
I
master, fucking
I think this
shred.
guy like dude, I think you could play. How long have you been playing?
About 7.5 years, about eight years or so.
Are you in a band right now?
Not at the moment. I used to do record some guitar and write parts for this online band called Citizen Regen, but they were like all online. There were like some guys located in Europe, so it was very much
Disconnected.
Very
It's like the Beatles
disconnected. So it's very
post-66.
like it was like send me the stems and stuff, write the part, get it, record it. That was like the real fun of it, and then send it off, and then it was like
Hell yeah.
hands off.
I mean, I've every time I do things that way, like it's so much harder. Oh, we gotta end.
Oh.
That was.
No,
I mean, we don't have to rush out. We're at about an hour now, but yeah.
I can't believe it, guys.
That's why I said
Yeah,
I
it flew
told him
by,
I was
man.
like it would go by.
Oh man.
But that's that. See, this is a good thing for us to though have like guests that we've had because we've been doing an hour, but we're probably gonna like open it up here maybe soon. So to have
Pad it
that
out, man. Yeah.
on a
Well,
more, and then
I'd love to
also
come back.
Want to hear more of you?
yeah, dude. Well, and
Shucks.
maybe we'll get Lou's ass in here, bro, so you can tell that first South by.
That is a dangerous idea
South
for
story.
me and Lou to be in the same room together, trying to one up each other on stories.
dude.
Get a little rowdy.
I endorse this message now,
No, Lou's a Viking. I love Lou.
bro. Yeah, and
Sometimes I call him Lugal.
Lugal.
Yeah.
Dude, I always do the Fight Club when I see him. I'm like, let us use your place, Lou. Let us use your place.
I
Bro.
hope that he's listening right now.
I hope
Shout
he
out
is
to
too.
Lou.
Shout
come
out to
on,
fucking
Lou. Come
dude.
on.
Best birthday ever.
Don't
bro.
cut that out in post.
No.
No, that's not.
Nothing
What
gets
a-
cut.
I'm like, it's all printing. It's all
I don't-
printing.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Straight to the masses.
do we need a swear button? Because I curse a lot.
Dude, we have the easy button,
Nice.
Yeah.
which
Nice.
is fine. It's a swear button, but no, dude. Yeah, we don't want to like waste too much. He's a family man. He has to get home to his wife and kids. So
I see you, bro. I see you.
yeah,
Enjoy
but
his life.
bro, we'll have you back sometime in the future, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming in, bro. We're like really,
Thank you for
really.
having
I
me.
know
Nice
you're
to
a
meet you.
It's
you're
great to
super
meet
fucking
you.
busy, man, and to take like a little bit of time, man, it's super dope and appreciate you.
Back at you, man.
Yeah.
Love it.